Hey, you're listening to Trigger Warnings, challenging talk radio with radical empathy at its core. John Ross is on the line.
Hello. I thought we were the Lawrence Welk show all of a sudden. I don't know what happened.
No, Lawrence Welk knows how to play this instrument. You're listening to Trigger Warnings, and I'm Chris Smith. John Ross is not in the heart of American carnage, but in fact, where are you?
I am in the High Sierra of Arizona.
The High Sierra of Arizona, and what are you doing there?
I could tell you and the listeners, but I'd have to kill you.
Excellent. Well, you're here on Trigger Warnings, and we've got 10 questions for each other. John, would you like a warm-up?
I would love a warm-up. Do you have a warm-up? I have one for you.
I do. Okay, we'll warm each other up with this. According to an AOL.com report, would Melania Trump pass her husband's immigration screening test? A, yes. B, no. C, maybe. D, probably. Or E, quote, she's a beautiful white woman from Europe and we like those, said Julia Eihoff.
I think it's the last one.
It is. Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations. You are obviously warmed up. What is my warm-up?
Given that we're in the dog days of summer, I thought I would give you a summer nutrition question.
Lovely.
According to an article, a scientific article published in Scientific American magazine, what's the best thing to consume if you want to fight the midsummer global warm heat? Cold milk, a nice beer, a chili pepper, watermelon, or cold, crisp veggies?
A chili pepper.
A chili pepper is correct. Very good. We're off to a rousing start.
That's right. So I lost horribly on the last game.
You were bageled.
Yes.
You got bageled.
So,
yes.
So who goes first?
Well, I think I won the coin toss. I will elect to kick off with this question, again, keeping very topical to the news. Which CEO said this yesterday in a statement announcing his resignation from the White House Manufacturing Council in response to President Grand Wizard's response to the Charlottesville incident? Here's the quote. I stand with others for equality and improving U.S. competitiveness. Which CEO, no longer with the White House Manufacturing Council, said this yesterday? Kevin Plank of Under Armour, Ken Frazier of Merck, Brian Krzanich of Intel, Jeffrey Immelt of GE, or Andrew Liveris of Dow. One of them said that yesterday in announcing his resignation from the White House Manufacturing Council.
I would like the quote and then the list of the company names.
Yes.
I'm not interested in the
quote. The quote is, I stand with others for equality and improving U.S. competitiveness. Under Armour, Merck, Intel, GE, Dow.
Merck, GE, or Dow. Those are the three biggies. So that is a tough one. We're going to go with Merck.
Ken Frazier is the CEO of Merck. He is African-American, and within an hour of resigning, because he talked about the value of diversity, he was tweeted by the president twice as someone who now has more time to cut his high drug prices. Unfortunately, he did not say that. Two other CEOs resigned yesterday, and one of them is Brian Krzanich of Intel, who uttered, I stand with others for equality and improving U.S. competitiveness.
Wow. Nice job.
This happened within the last 12 hours. I just want you to know I am on top of the news.
I am not. I fear today's quiz in that I have not even had my daily dose this morning of the news. So that's okay. My question for you in round one, only one California Republican has scheduled and held town halls during this August recess. Who is it? Do you need the multiple choice?
Well, I think I know who it is, but I'll take the multiple choice.
Oh, why don't you make a guess?
Well, it sounds like Daryl Issa. I think it's Daryl Issa, but if that's not automatically correct, I will take the choices.
Yes, your choices are Ami Bera of the 7th District, Paul Cook of the 8th District, Doug LaMaffa of the 1st District, Steve Knight of the 25th District, or Ken Calvert of the 42nd District.
Well, would someone in a safe district be more likely to have a town hall now, or would someone in a closed district? That's why I said Issa, because he's in trouble. I'm going to go with Bera.
The answer is not Bera. The answer is Doug LaMaffa of the notorious 1st District of Colorado.
That's way up there.
It is
That's
way up
Mount,
there.
Yeah, that's Mount Shasta and all that. He's probably very safe. Okay, we have no score, as they say.
That's right.
Staying highly topical to a huge story.
Oh, no.
Question 2. Yes, you're right. You know what that is.
Yes, you're right.
Yes, you're right.
That's a common English phrase.
Yes, it is, but it's also a Twitter site that exposes organizers and marchers, in this case in Charlottesville, but has been around for several years. It used to be called Yes, You're Racist, where it exposes identities of people who take part in alt-right and white extremist activities. Yes, you're right. Since the Charlottesville incident has been in action, exposing participants to public humiliation for being involved in the Charlottesville march last week, at least one marcher, Cole White, lost his job at a Berkeley, California restaurant after his participation was exposed through the site. Another person exposed through the site, Peter Svetanovich, is a student at a state university and could face disciplinary action from his school for his participation. Which university does he attend for now? Ohio University, Kent State University, Bowling Green. Svetanovich has had his photo exposed on the Twitter site for his participation in the march over the weekend, and may face disciplinary action at his state university. Which one?
Can I get the answers again?
Ohio University, Kent State University, Bowling Green University, University of Washington, University of Nevada, Reno.
I am not. I know what happened in Charlottesville. I have not read every nuanced detail. This is a fascinating story.
It is a great story. Public humiliation is fantastic.
Well, is it humiliation? Is it shaming? Or is it...
It is public shaming. It is.
Is it by way of our interwebs recognizing individuals for standing up for what they believe in? I'm going to go with Ohio University or Kent State. The first one was Ohio University?
Yes, Ohio University.
I'm going to go with that.
Many of the protesters, including the man under arrest for running down 20 people, are from Ohio, but Mr. Svetanovich is a student at University of Nevada, Reno.
Ooh, see, I would not have guessed that. I was down to the two between Ohio, but I should have known that you were out to get me in providing me Ohio choices that actually weren't the right ones.
Well, again, considering that I'm in an undisclosed location with very little time, presumably, to look into these things, I just wanted to stay on top of the news and demonstrate that I am committed.
Yeah, no, you apparently are way more on top of it than I am. All right, well, round 2 for you. This week in 1964, a novelty pop song entered into the Johnson-Goldwater presidential race. The song inspired a brief third-party write-in campaign rallied for by a decidedly under-21 crowd. What song are we talking about? Do you know without the choices?
No, I cannot.
Okay. A, I'm Henry VIII I Am by Herman's Hermits. B, Ringo for President by the Young World Singers. C. Harry the Hairy Ape by Ray Stevens. D. Along Came Jones by the Coasters. Or E. Norman by Sue Thompson.
Okay, well, given that in my travels in Arizona, I have listened to a little bit of 60s and 70s pop radio on Sirius XM, and I did hear this song. I'm wondering if it's more than just a coincidence. So I'm going to go with Henry VIII.
Henry VIII I Am by Hermits is a great answer. However, it is Ringo
It's
for
wrong,
President. It's Ringo for President by the Young World Singers. Fascinating. How can you imagine a pop song entering the 2020 race?
Oh, yeah. And of course, Kanye West says he's running for president, so I can imagine that. Okay, very good. Well, we have a double bagel. Round 3. Again, highly topical news. In this week's issue, The Economist declares the internal combustion engine, quote, had a good run. But the end is in sight for the machine that changed the world, unquote. The magazine figures gasoline-powered cars might stick around for another decade or two, but suggests that its death, the gasoline-powered car's death, is being hastened by government's promises of zero-emission cars by the year 2050. According to the magazine, which is the latest Western industrial nation to commit to a zero-emission standard. Italy, Canada, Great Britain, Australia, South Korea.
Italy, Canada, Great Britain, South Korea,
And Australia.
and Australia. This raises the question, and here's what I feel like I should know: which of those countries have a zero emission standard currently? Because I'm guessing.
Well, many nations have gone to and got committed to that per some international agreement. This article states the one that is the most recent to commit to that standard.
Can I get what timetable? When are they? By 2030?
2050. 2050.
Australia.
Excellent guess, because they speak funny and they're all by themselves down there, but it is Great Britain.
Wow. My second guess would have been Canada. Third would have been Great Britain. Well, zero emission standards. That's fascinating. I really like that question.
It's a great article, too.
And the double bagel continues. Your round 3. You know, you're not far, I bet, from that the site of the cultural mecca Burning Man. I bet you're not that far.
I'm not. I mean, I'm in a neighboring state.
But really, in general terms, you're not that far. Well, you know that it will be happening coming up here in the next few weeks. And of course, the super rich are invading and commandeering the Alt Culture Festival with their steak tartare and their lobster boils and their rented...
And their designer water.
That's right. And their rented RVs and their ultra luxury camping experiences. And one package this year is rumored to cost $25,000, all inclusive. What is the 2017 art theme for the Burning Man Festival? You caught that? 2017 art theme.
Yes, I did.
Is it A, radical empathy, B, radical movement, C, radical ritual, D, radical community, or E, radical dudes?
We have radical empathy, radical dudes, radical community, radical...
Ritual?
And...
Movement.
Community, radical community.
No, it is radical ritual, but you still win the bonus question. What's the cost of a general admission ticket to Burning Man this year? Is it $120, $180, $320, $420, or more than $420?
It's more than $420.
It is more than $420, and you win the triple bonus feature in 2013. Mark Zuckerberg skipped most of Burning Man, instead showing up halfway through on his private helicopter and delivering something to his friends. What did he deliver? Was it A, mescaline, B, peyote, C, camping gear, D, water bottles and fruit smoothies, or E, grilled cheese sandwiches?
It's water.
No,
Water
it's
and
grilled cheese sandwiches. John, it sounds like you should go to Burning Man.
Yeah, I should. Okay. Fighting to a scoreless draw, we enter round 4. Let's stay in England, shall we? You're going to love this question. Wayne Rooney. Do you know who Wayne Rooney is?
No.
Now, Wayne Rooney is perhaps the greatest soccer player England has ever produced. And Wayne Rooney has gone home, kind of, after many years of Manchester United and many titles at virtually every level of soccer but the World Cup. The 31-year-old has returned to his first Premier League team, where he first played as a teenager. Which team welcomed Rooney home this past week in a 1-0 season-opening home win in which Rooney scored the game's only goal? What a incredible dramatic return. He comes back more than a decade after starting his career with this club, comes back, first game at home, scores the only goal in a 1-0 win. Isn't that amazing? Which team has welcomed Wayne Rooney back? Everton, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham United, or Arsenal? I know you're a big English Premier League fan, so I think you should probably get this.
Nothing like the Premier League. Could I get my choices again?
Yes, Everton, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham United, or Arsenal.
Tottenham United? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yes, I'll go with that.
Tottenham United is named for the Spurs, from the Shakespeare.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's Everton.
Oh!
Rooney scored an extra time goal at the end of the first half in a 1-0 win for Everton over Stoke City.
Wow.
Bottom of the 4th. It's a great question. Come on.
Great question. Here's a good one for you. This week, in 1970, singer Janis Joplin purchased a headstone and had it placed at a previously unmarked grave in Mont Lawn Cemetery in Philadelphia. Whose grave was that? Do you need the choices?
Absolutely.
Singer and actress Hattie McDaniel, blues singer Virginia Liston, blues singer Bessie Smith, gospel singer Ethel Waters, or electric guitar pioneer Sister Rosetta Tharpe?
Well, it's not Bessie Smith, because Bessie Smith died in North Carolina when they went to treat her at a white hospital, and I don't think it was Hattie McDaniel. I do think Ethel Waters had Philadelphia roots, and I believe that is the answer.
Ethel Waters was from Chester, Pennsylvania. I have the ultra rare Ethel Waters story 2 LP set, as well as a live recording of a gospel group with her in front. No, I'm sorry, you ruled out Bessie Smith right away, and you were so wrong. But yeah, it was Bessie Smith, Janis Joplin.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I have the Bessie Smith collection. I just didn't realize that she was buried in the North.
That's right.
But she died in the South. Okay.
Well, the bagel rolls on, man. This is the
bagel.
This is the ultimate show because
This is like the Shel Silverstein book about the O that keeps rolling down the road. Okay. Wow. Right. Well, I'm gonna save my lip. All right. UNESCO. You're familiar with UNESCO?
Oh, absolutely.
UNESCO is the UN Cultural Heritage Organization, and in its recent meeting, it added 21 new
World
sites.
Heritage sites, right?
Yes, it added 21 new World Heritage sites. One of them is a sacred island in southwestern Japan called Okinoshima, which has an unusual quality. Okinoshima Okino, L-K-I-N-O-S-H-I-M-A, Okinoshima, consistent with its unique kind of sacredness, bans what? You cannot bring this thing or this item onto the island. And it is a new UNESCO Cultural Heritage Site. What can you not bring on Okinoshima? Meat, animals, women, shoes, or those who do not practice the Shinto religion.
Meat, animals, women, shoes, or those that do not practice the religion?
Shinto religion.
That's a good one. This is an island off of the south of Japan, you said?
Southwestern Japan. Okinoshima.
Man, what a challenge. That's fascinating. And the choices, whatever is the right answer, the wrong answers that you made up are also fascinating.
Yes, I know.
So really, let's look through the eyes of the UN. The UN is 21 new sites means we're really trying to extend the culture. To ban something like meat, no, to ban something like animals. Well, that's very strange. I don't know why a culture would do that. To ban women, there's not going to be much left there in that way. I don't get that. So really, the only sensible answer to me through the eyes of the UN is the last one.
Those who do not practice the Shinto religion.
Yeah, because that's a cloister. If I'm not mistaken, that's what you would consider a religious cloister.
That could be, yes. Great guess.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, Okinoshima does not allow women.
Oh, wow.
Okay, we are zipping along toward our deadline, bottom of the fifth.
According to a report by Axios.com, who said this week? We have clearly entered a historic era. It's feeling like the roaring 20s. This autumn with tech valuations at such hysterical heights. The socials, like Instagram Live, are alive with the spirit of Warhol. The sound of the atom splitting is looming over Korea. What's old is new. Who said that? Was it George Will in the Washington Post? Was it alleged Trotskyite Paul Mason, formerly of Channel 4 News? Was it Julie Mason of SiriusXM? Was it Matt Bai of Yahoo News or Matt Drudge of the Drudge Report?
We lost you a few times there. Can you? I got George
dear.
Will. Yeah, George Will, Mason, Drudge, and who else?
George Will, Paul Mason, Julie Mason, Matt Bai of Yahoo News, and Matt Drudge.
See, that sounds like Matt Bai, because Matt Bai does really deep stuff and he writes that way. So I'm really confident that is Matt Bai.
You're confident that it's Matt Bai. I'm sorry, it is Matt Drudge. When asked by an Axios.com reporter, why have you changed the Drudge Report to all black and white? In an unsolicited email, Drudge provided Axios that response. A historic era, the spirit of Warhol, the sound of the atom splitting over, looming over Korea. What's old is new.
Matt Drudge sounds like he got some of that mescaline
that did not get
Burning
delivered by Zuckerberg
exactly.
at Burning Man. That's correct.
Well, we're halfway through and we're scoreless.
This is awesome. I really like the scoreless game because the stakes are as high as ever now.
It really is. It really is. It's like sudden death. Okay. China has opened its first overseas naval base. Did you know that? Ostensibly, according to Beijing, this base will be used for logistics and resupplying Chinese Navy ships that participate in peacekeeping and humanitarian missions. Where is this base located? Djibouti, Kenya, Guinea, Pago Pago, Bahrain. The Chinese have an overseas naval base there first. Where is it located? This
Djibouti?
is according to Time magazine, by the way. Djibouti, Kenya, Guinea, Pago Pago, Bahrain.
Djibouti, Kenya, Pago. Kenya.
A fantastic guess. It could be at Mombasa, which is a famous trading post and all that, but it is Djibouti.
Wow.
As in pull up your pants, Djibouti showing.
Did the Time magazine article speculate, like, of course, this isn't going to be the only one, right?
It does not say.
It's, wow. All right. Well,
It's on the eastern horn of Africa.
goodness
All,
me.
yes, bottom of the sixth, still scoreless.
This week, what were you doing this week in 1996, John?
Right, we've lost a little sound again. What was I doing?
Oh, I'm
this
sorry.
week?
What were you doing in the year 1996? August 1996.
Probably waiting out the Clinton-Dole-Perot election. I don't know.
I was about to embark on my senior year of high school. Well, this week in 1996 at a concert at Riverfront Coliseum in Cincinnati, a fan took off his fake leg and threw it onto the stage while the band was performing. The band, between songs, all autographed the man's leg and gave it back to him. What band are we talking about? Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Soundgarden, U2, or Kiss?
Okay, you must consult those little newspaper things in the comic section that says on this date in Metallica.
It is not Metallica. It's actually Kiss.
Oh, that's great.
It was a major PR event. I remembered it happening, and yes, there is a wonderful On This Day in Rock History website. I suggest everybody check it out. John, you've done things like that to me on this quiz. It's fair
I've
game.
never done on this date in, but it's a very interesting question.
Right?
Back to the UN as we enter round 7. You know, the UN publishes a World Happiness Report. Did you know that?
And it ranks by country, correct?
Well, it ranks by country, and it uses an aggregate scale that measures things like GDP and perception of corruption and all that stuff. It recently declared that this small country, the one that has seen by its metrics the greatest increase in happiness over the past 10 years, not necessarily the happiest, but that has become proportionally happier over the last 10 years than any other country on earth. Which small country is now smiling much more than it did 10 years ago? Moldova, Ecuador, Sierra Leone, Latvia, Nicaragua.
Moldova? Wait,
Moldova.
yes.
Moldova, Ecuador, Sierra Leone, Latvia, Nicaragua.
Ecuador or Nicaragua? I'm torn there. I'm going to go with one of those two. My gut says that region. Because we're not talking about happiest. We're talking about most improved happiness. Over what time period?
10 years.
Over the last 10 years. Ecuador.
Oh, you were so close. It's Nicaragua.
Oh, man!
I read them in reverse order from number 5 to number 1. Ecuador is the 4th proportionately happiest over the last 10 years. But number 1 is Nicaragua, followed very closely by Latvia.
That is fascinating. I can't believe.
It is fascinating.
Hey, here we are on Trigger Warnings, Challenging Talk Radio. It's the bottom of the 7th. And it's my turn to ask John a question. The score
And-
is still
Score.
0-0, correct?
That is correct. It is a double bagel.
Double bagel. Who said this week, John? Whatever your substantive position on the various issues involved above, we should all be grateful that from the generals to the scouts, from the senators to the cops, the institutions of both political and civil society are holding up well. Trump is a systematic stress test. The results are good thus far. Who said that? Was it George Will, Charles Krauthammer, Sean Hannity, Hugh Hewitt, or Ann Coulter?
It's a very tough question.
The institutions of both political and civil society are holding up well. Trump is a systemic, excuse me, I got it wrong. Trump is a systemic stress test. The results are good thus far. George Will, Charles Krauthammer, Sean Hannity, Hugh Hewitt, or Ann Coulter?
Well, it sounds like Will, but Krauthammer is a medical doctor, so he might use that analogy.
Systemic
And-
stress test.
And it could be Hewitt. It's not Coulter or Hannity. You just threw those in to try and divert me. I'm going to go with that wacky liberal George Will.
Oh, are you sure?
No, I'm not sure, but I'm going to go with the wacky liberal George Will.
Well, the double bagel has ended its roll. John has scored a point. Oh, no. You got it right.
Wow.
It was George
Wow.
Will.
It was George Will.
Now, has that quote been proven wrong? Can I be heard? Trump is a systemic stress test. The results are good thus far?
I think that if you consider the system like a rubber band that is very pliant but could be broken, it's stretched not all the way to its limit, but it's getting there, and we'll see if it could break. I think I think the jury's still out. That's what I think.
Well, then. Please
We have not yet proven fully that the system is one of the laws and not man. We're not all the way there yet. So.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Give me a chance to win a point, would you?
Oh, I
Please.
give you it every time. Every time I give you a chance. All right. While I am not at this minute in Illinois, in the land of American carnage, we have a very expensive governor's race coming up next year. We have an incumbent Republican who is an almost billionaire and a former venture capitalist who has a boatload of Democrats running against him. The leading candidate right now is the billionaire J.B. Pritzker of the Hyatt Hotel family. But there are others in the race, like multimillionaire Chris Kennedy of that Kennedy family. And we have a host of less wealthy yet deeply sincere lefties. According to the most recent campaign funding data, of the $36 million raised in the second quarter of 2017 for the governor's race, exactly $34 million of it came from two individuals. Who are they? A, Rauner and Pritzker. B, Rauner and Kennedy. C, Pritzker and billionaire hedge fund founder Ken Griffin. D, Griffin and George Soros. Or E, Rauner and George Soros. So we have the Republican governor, Rauner, the leading Democratic candidates, Pritzker and Kennedy. And then we have some other figures in there. And two of them are responsible for $34 million of $36 million raised in the second quarter of 2017. Which two are responsible for the overwhelming haul of campaign funding?
It's got. I'm going to guess that it's got George Soros involved. So it's. What are the two answers that have him involved?
So Griffin, who's a hedge fund guy, Citadel hedge fund, and Soros, or Rauner, the governor, and Soros.
We'll go with the hedge fund guy and George Soros.
That is your final answer.
That is.
You're half right.
Oh.
Griffin, the hedge fund founder, has funded the lion's share of Republican money, but Pritzker himself, that's a lot of hotel rooms. That's funded the rest.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. The score is 1-0.
So, bottom of the eighth, a chance for me to clinch a tie with a correct answer here.
Here is your chance to. Wait. What do you mean clinch a tie? It's
if
one.
I have a 2-0.
No,
if I have a 2-0 lead, at least a tie. I'm sorry, at least a tie.
Right. Here's your chance to score a second point. The score is 1-0.
Yes.
Last week, two individuals were taken into custody by the Wisconsin State Fair Park Police, and criminal charges are being pressed. What were they caught doing at the Wisconsin State Fair? Was it A, public drunkenness, B, selling loose joints, C, selling counterfeit tickets to the Hermits concert at Bank Mutual Amphitheater, D, physically abusing and detaining the anticipated winner of the auctioneer competition to allow for another competitor to have a better chance at winning, or E, having sex in the stands? What were two individuals arrested for at the Wisconsin State Fair last week?
The amazing thing is that none of these has to do with doing obscene things to livestock or anything involving cheese or a dairy product. Although I suppose sex could involve the dairy product. Loose joints, Herman's. Well, I think what was D?
D is
the auctioneer.
Yeah, physically abusing and detaining the anticipated winner of the auctioneer competition to allow for another competitor to have a better chance at winning. They were literally like trying to keep him from going to the competition so that somebody else would have a better chance.
Shaking down an auctioneer? Okay, well, that one sounds too crazy for you to have made up. But I'm going to say having sex in the stand.
You're not going to go with the auctioneer competition, even though it sounds correct?
Even though you're trying to lure me into that, I don't think that's it.
And selling counterfeit tickets to the Hermits concert?
No, that one's easy to make up.
Well, you're right, John. It is having sex in the stands. You are making a remarkable comeback here.
I just want to give you credit for coming up with those other two, but I just want you to know, something tells me I'm into something good right now.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. All right, Henry VIII. Give me round 9 here.
Round 9. Okay, this one, this is an interesting one. Recently, headlines were made when a rancher in South Texas named his calf after the person whose markings the calf's face stunningly resemble. After whom is this calf named? The calf's facial markings stunningly resemble that of a certain person.
Where was this?
South Texas.
Okay.
Is this calf named after Donald Trump, Mick Jagger, Gene Simmons, Jesus, or Mary, mother of Jesus?
A calf was born in South Texas and it resembles somebody, and they named it after that somebody. And is it Jesus, Mary, Gene Simmons, Trump,
or Mick Jagger?
I can't imagine a calf. Man, that's a good one. That's a really great question. I'm glad that we have our priorities right. I would say Gene Simmons would be the easiest. Yeah, Gene Simmons.
Are you going with that?
I am. I am.
Congratulations, sir. You have answered.
I'm glad I got that right. So the score is 2-1.
I just sent you the article that has the astoundingly similar markings of Gene Simmons and the calf, who's now named Gene. And Gene Simmons himself tweeted his approval and affirmation of this blessed event.
Wow.
I don't know if you had a chance to look at it yet, but it's pretty good.
No, I haven't had a chance to look at that, but let me tell you, priorities. All right, well.
All right, so you're still in it?
I'm still in it, and so are you.
Numbers.
You're going to love this one. As a public health, public policy wonk, you're going to love it. Published this week in the American Journal of Preventative Medicine, a paper by Dr. Christopher Ruhm, R-U-H-M, identified regional differences in the reporting of opioid mortality rates. Did you see this report?
I don't know.
Oh. Dr. Ruhm found 3 states had particularly underreported deaths by opioids to the tune of 20 to 25%.
Wow.
I know. Underreporting opioid deaths. What 3 states did Dr. Ruhm identify as being worst as far as underreporting opioid deaths? Is it so? Each answer is a group of 3 states.
Yes.
Pennsylvania, Indiana, Louisiana, Illinois, Mississippi, Ohio, Arkansas, Oklahoma, California, South Carolina, Virginia, New Hampshire, or Vermont, Texas, and Alabama.
Does it say anything more about why?
Well, yes, the paper does explain why, but this question does not. Simply that they are underreported.
I think there's no reasonable way to guess this.
There is no reasonable way to guess this. The opioid crisis is so sweeping that any of these states could be said to have a problem. But what we're looking at is which of these states is intentionally underreporting, or the word intentionally should not be applied, but has definitely underreported deaths by opioids.
So the first one was Pennsylvania, Indiana, and which state?
And Louisiana.
I'm going to go with that one.
You're going to go with A, Pennsylvania, Indiana, Louisiana? Yeah. Why?
Yes. Well,
if you're just blindly guessing.
No, I know some things about the public health stuff in Indiana under the Pence administration. And she did turn a blind eye toward
Could you speak up?
certain things. Yes, I do know some things about the Pence administration and public health policy in Indiana. And so because of that, I'm making a connection. It's not a strong one, but that's my first instinct, that whichever group includes Indiana is the right answer.
Wow. Well, you are correct. It is Pennsylvania, Indiana, Louisiana. Well done. Well done.
Wow. I have clinched a victory. Wow.
I know.
See, again, that was... all right, I'm going to give you a choice for your last question.
All right.
Do you want a question about the president, or about sports?
I'll take the president.
Okay. Here we go. Your last question.
The de
legal-
facto president?
The de facto president.
Okay.
Thank you. In a legal proceeding now 30 years old and growing older, the claims of a former employee at a Trump organization property that he and his family were terrorized by Trump security forces after he prepared to blow the whistle on hundreds of thousands of dollars in financial improprieties in 1995 have gone public, including to BuzzFeed. According to BuzzFeed, at which Trump organization property did the employee discover the alleged improprieties? He discovered $300,000 in financial improprieties at one Trump property and was preparing to go to the board.
Can I get more? What do you mean financial impropriety?
Specifically, it related to they were bilking tenants or owners, depending on the answer, of money. They were taking money from them, or they were failing to give them back money that had been promised to the tune of $300,000. And this guy, who was a senior official in the organization, discovered these and was going to blow the whistle to the board when he was terrorized. He and his family were terrorized, accused by Trump security forces. And he did not go to the board.
Wow.
As a result. So at which of these properties were these alleged improprieties discovered? Trump Tower, Manhattan, the Grand Hyatt Hotel, Manhattan, Trump Plaza, Manhattan, the Taj, Atlantic City, or Trump Place, Manhattan?
It's one of the three Manhattans. Trump
Well, there
Plaza.
are four, actually. There's Trump Tower, Trump Plaza, Trump Place, and the Grand Hyatt Hotel, Manhattan.
Well, when I asked for more clarification, you used the word tenants. I'm not...
Or tenants or owners.
Yeah, I'm going to rule out the hotel. So it's Trump Plaza, Manhattan, Trump Tower, Manhattan, or what was the third non-hotel?
Trump Place.
Trump Place. And I don't... if this happened at one of those, it probably happened at the other two as well. We just don't have evidence of it. And I'm going to say Trump Plaza.
It's an excellent guess, but it's Trump Place.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the east side.
It's indistinguishable. Well, there went my chance to improve my score. What is it, 3-1?
3-1 is the last question, the last round.
Last question for you, John, and it's an easy one. It's an easy one. On this day in 1969, you know what happened.
August 16th?
1969, not 1977. Which was the day of Elvis's disappearance. No, I'm talking about on this day in 1969. This is not your question. I'm just, you should know what happened today. Yes?
Yeah, wasn't it the moon landing? Isn't that right?
It was what?
The moon landing? That was not today?
No, but that's a lovely thing to say. No, it's the Woodstock Music and Arts Festival.
That was my second guess. That was the second guess.
Well done. Well, which of these groups did not perform at Woodstock? The Who, John Sebastian, Pink Floyd, Canned Heat, or Santana? Which of these groups? Yeah, which of these groups did not perform at Woodstock? The Who, John Sebastian, Pink Floyd, Canned Heat, or Santana?
I know Richie Havens was the opening act.
Yes.
But that's because everybody else was delayed. I think it's The Who. I'm pretty sure John Sebastian did perform there. It's either The Who or Canned Heat. I think it's The Who.
You sure? You're choosing between
No.
The Who and Canned Heat, and you're leaning towards The Who.
I think it's one of those two, I think, and I think it's the Who. I'm pretty sure John Sebastian did perform it.
Oh, definitely. He performed the song "Rainbows All Over Your Blues," and The Who performed the song "Won't Get Fooled Again," and they had to cut their set short because the drum set got destroyed. Canned Heat. This would be one of the last performances of Canned Heat with their harp player, and I'm sorry his name escapes me, but he was said to be one of the best blues harp players. And of course, Santana led the Rain Chant. The answer is Pink Floyd. So the score, amazing.
The final score is 3-1.
3-1, and that's not bad. That's not bad considering in round 7 the score was 0-0. It has been quite a challenging game, I must say.
It has been.
And
are you interested in a bonus question?
I would love a bonus question, just something a little redeeming, please. Bring it.
Okay. A prominent Republican governor is in a bit of a spat with Wired magazine after the magazine was critical of the Gov's, quote, boring social media presence. Who's the Republican governor in a spat with Wired? Chris Christie, Bruce Rauner, Scott Walker, John Kasich, Rick Snyder.
Chris Christie immediately came to mind. Now, I haven't seen this report, but Chris Christie came to mind. Is Chris Christie America's punching bag? America's GOP punching bag? I'm going to go with Chris Christie. Am I right?
It's Scott Walker.
It's Scott Walker. Well, so much for that. John, thanks
again.
Do you
know why?
What?
And do you know why Scott Walker has a bad social media presence?
Why?
Because he's spending a lot of time prosecuting people having sex at the Wisconsin State Fair instead of concentrating on important things, like being the tweeter in chief. I think that's obviously the conclusion one should take from this.
Wow. Well, another game down, a systemic stress test endured. John, enjoy your day.
You too.
And
how do you think this program is handling its systemic stress tests? Are we like the rubber band that will bend but not break, or have we not yet been stretched? What would be your...
Yeah, no, if anyone's listening, they know that you and I put each other under a stress test that is unprecedented and unparalleled, and these questions are beyond comprehension to most. So it really is more of a stress test and less of a quiz show. Yeah, I hope people are enjoying it. Now, later, whenever they may be hearing the sound of my voice. We'll be back next week with a much better show because, as they say, out of perfection, nothing can be made. And that's why the score is only 3-1.
Because we are, I would say, and I know I used this analogy early in the program, I think we are moving toward, our goal is nirvana, is not Kurt Cobain, but the other nirvana, nothingness. That we are striving to get to a perfect double bagel, and that we know if we have a 0-0 tie, like a good soccer game, we have achieved what we have designed this program to do, which is to completely stump each other on minutia and borderline trivia.